feels overdue. I don't ask what I should save, I release what couldn't stay. Streetlight pulses then recedes, like a thought that outruns need. I don't brace for impact now, I lean forward anyhow. The air goes thin and opens wide, every sense is amplified. I don't cling to yesterday, I let the present rearrange. There's a pressure in the calm, like a signal holding on. Every breath pulls closer still to a move against my will. I don't slow to analyze, I don't know near a clear reply. When the current tightens grip, I decide to let it slip. I stay right at the offset where the timing slips its frame. Every moment feels deliberate when the rules refuse to name. I stay right at offset, offset. Let it pull me out of sync when the balance won't return. I don't freeze, I rethink. I stay right at the offset. Tilt along the glass, every shadow moves too fast. What I thought would hold me down turns to live without a sound. Crowds dissolve to undertones, still I feel distinctly shown. Every choice I didn't plan finds a rhythm where I stand. Time compresses then expands, every loss rewrites my hands. I don't chase a fixed result, I vault with motion as default. There's a signal in the strain, like a wire humming plane. Every pause becomes a cue for the next thing I will do. I don't wait to settle and I don't need it. It's safe or clean when the line begins to blur. I move closer to the turn. I stay right at the offset where the timing slips its frame. Every moment feels deliberate when the rules refuse to name. I stay right at offset, offset. No retreat, no borrow pace when the system shifts its weight. No anchor set, I pivot sharp. Read the margin, read the dark. Every fraction marks a gate. I don't hesitate, I iterate. Now reaction, this is craft. I refine while moving fast. Pressure speaks in broken code. I translate it as I go. No rehearsal, no repeat. Every step edits the beat. If the structure won't align, I compose in real time. I don't mirror what was done, I progress while moving on. If the center drifts away, would you still remain with me? There's a clarity in offset when I stop demanding symmetry. I don't need the ground to stay, I don't need it locked in place. In the gap between the lines, I discover new design. Hey, hey, I stay right at the offset. Every breath becomes a guide. When the noise pulls out of phase, I don't scatter, I decide. I stay right at the offset, let it test my sense of form. When the future slips its timing, I adapt and carry on. Let it light, then let it lead. Not a loss, but what I need. When the silence finds its cue, I'm still moving offset true. Close bars drifting in slow motion, every sound is into notion. I don't wait for lines to meet, I step ahead of where they lead. Street signs flicker, lose their role, every mover draws a hole. What I thought I had to be starts dissolving quietly. The night exhales a sharper tone, like a signal I've outgrown. I don't reach to pull it back, I move forward through the gap. There's a pressure in the rise, like a breath before the I turn uncertainty to drive. Every fraction maps a route. I don't panic, I compute. Not reaction, this is craft. Every pivot built to last. I don't echo what was done. I evolve while moving on. Pressure talks encoded pace. I translate it into space. No rehearsal, no repeat. I redesign beneath my feet. If the structure starts to fail, I accelerate the scale. If the speed becomes too much, would you still stay in the flow? There's a calm inside the motion when I stop demanding slow. I don't need the edge in sight. I don't need to justify it. In the search, I finally feel what can move and still stay real. I stay inside the acceleration. Oh, every breath becomes a guide. Oh, when the noise pulls me too fast. I don't scatter, I align. I stay inside the acceleration. Let it test my core again when the future breaks its pace. Let it drive, let it race, not restrained by time or place. When the silence starts to form, I'm still moving, still transformed. Blue rays rolling through the wire. Every sound climbs slightly higher. I don't stop to chase the star. I feel the pull before the spark. Streetlights smear into a line. Every second bends the time. What I thought was set in stone loosens when I move along. The night hums low, then opens wide, like a door kept inside. I don't reach for what I knew. I let the shift come breaking through. There's a charge beneath the calm, like a breath before the storm. Every pause begins to glow when I let the current flow. I don't ask for guarantees. I don't wait for clarity. When the ground forgets its place, I keep moving, change my pace. I stay inside the transition, where the old and new collide. Every moment feels elastic when I stop picking a side. I stay inside the transition, let it stretch me, let it breathe. When the past releases grip, I don't resist, I proceed. I proceed. Reflections ripple on the glass. Every version slips right past what I dropped along the way. Left more space for me to stay. Crowds dissolve to undertones. Still I feel distinctly shown. Every step I didn't plan finds its meaning where I land. Time expands and folds again. Every loss becomes a gain. I don't chase the final form. I adjust to what is forming. There's a signal in the strain, like a rhythm in the change. Every pause becomes a cue for the next move pushing through. I don't need the frame to hold. I don't need it clean or bold. When the balance starts to bend, I can move another end. I stay inside the transition, where the old and new collide. Every moment feels elastic when I stop picking a side. I stay inside the transition, no retreat, no second skin. When the future shifts its weight, I let the change pull me in. No standby mode, I'm live in motion. Turn uncertainty to propulsion. Every fracture shows a seam. I redesign the in-between, not reaction. This is craft. Every pivot builds my path. I don't echo yesterday, I recalibrate the way. Pressure speaks in broken tones. I translate them as my own. No rehearsal, no repeat. I compose beneath my feet. If the structure starts to slide, expand the space. If the moment won't resolve, would you stay inside the blur? There's a calm in transition when I stop demanding sure. I don't need a locked or clean. I don't need a perfect sign. In the shift I finally feel what is mine and what aligns. I stay inside the transition. Every breath becomes a guide when the noise pulls me apart. I don't scatter, realign. I stay inside the transition, let it test my core again. When the future changes shape, I don't freeze, I transcend. Let it stay. complete but on its way. When the silence starts to form, I'm still moving, still transforming. Your rain on the concrete skin, every step feels like a breach within. I don't know who I was before, but the sound keeps asking for more. Shadows up in coated light, every face reflects tonight. I don't search for certainty, I move with this intensity. There's a tension in the air, like the world is unaware. Every breath is drawing close, to the edge I choose the most. I run straight through the static, where the silence starts to bend. Every moment feels electric, like a start that has no end. I run straight through the static, let it pull me out of line. When the signal breaks the pattern, I don't stall, I redefine. City pulses in my chest, nothing here is built to rest. All the rules I try to keep fade beneath the rhythm's grip. Every doubt I used to hide turns transparent in the light. I don't need a perfect view, I trust with emotion breath. No pause, no replay, I move in real time. Every fracture in the frame turns to design. I don't echo what they said, I recalibrate, turn pressure into presence, hesitation into fate. Every limit wants to speak, I reply with motion. I push to the past just for devotion. I don't freeze when the system shakes, I evolve in the middle of the breaks. Read the room by the pulse on the floor. If the ground starts shifting, I want more. No disguise, no borrowed tone, I make this momentum my own. If the lights all fall apart, would you still feel where we are? There's a calm inside the rush when I stop holding it up. I don't need it safe or clear, I don't need it justified. In the blur I finally see what it means to be alive. I run straight through the static, every breath becomes a sign. When the noise is overwhelming, I don't fracture, I align. I run straight through the static, no retreat, no second guess. When the future hits my system, I respond with readiness. Let it ring, let it stay, not resolved but fully played. When the silence starts to form, I'm still moving, still reborn. Soft glare skims the edge of sound. Every step redraws the ground. I don't wait for cues to land, I read the pulse, I understand. Street signs blur then disappear. Every doubt gets thinner here. What I carry loosens grip as the moment learns to shift. The air holds still then opens wide, like a hinge between the sides. I don't reach for what was safe, I move while everything reshapes. There's a charge beneath the calm, not a warning, just a palm. Every breath pulls closer into the place I've never been. I don't ask for symmetry, I don't need it guaranteed. When the balance starts to sway, I translate it on the way. I stay inside the refraction where the angles start to change. Every second feels intentional when the view won't stay the same. I stay inside the refraction, let it split, recombine. When the picture bends the light, I don't resist, I realign. Light rebounds in layered arcs, every loss ignites a spark. What I dropped along the way left more range for me to play. Tries dissolve to undertone, still I feel distinctly known. Every move I didn't plan finds a rhythm where I land. Time compresses then expands, every doubt rewrites my hands. I don't chase a final frame, I evolve inside the change. There's a signal in the sway, like a wave that won't obey. Every pause becomes separation in the seam. Every fracture shows a range. I don't freeze, I exchange. Not reaction, this is craft. Every pivot sharpens path. I don't echo what was done, I refine while moving on. Pressure speaks in coded hues. I decode the light it throws. No rehearsal, no repeat. I compose beneath my feet. If the structure splits the ray, I refract and find my way. If the image won't resolve, would you stay inside the bend? There's a common refraction when I stop demanding end. I don't need it clean or still. I don't need it justified. In the split I finally feel what can bend and still survive. Hi, to find it. I stay inside the refraction. Every breath becomes a guide. When the colors pull apart, I don't scatter, I align. I stay inside the refraction. Let it test my core again. When the future breaks its light, I transcend. Let us split then reunite. Not corrected, not confined. When the silence starts to form, I'm still moving through the prism. Teleportation to my skin, every sound plays me back in. I don't wait, the cues will end. I read the pulse, I understand. Sounds good and we align. Every second is a line. What I thought I had to keep starts dissolving in a beat. The air is sharp, unfinished, like a pop that never cleared. I don't reach for solid ground. I'm over, nothing's nailed down. There's a pressure in my lips, like the hinge before it shifts. Every breath begins to lean toward the space I haven't seen. I don't ask for certainty, I don't need a guarantee. When the balance will behave, I respond without delay. I stay inside the isolation, where the motion swings both ways. Every load of feels intention, though. When I stop demanding stand, I stay inside the isolation. Let it fall, let it return. When the rhythm tilts the center, I don't freeze, I learn. Like rebounds and broken hearts, every loss ignites spark. But I dropped along the way, left more range for me to play. Clouds off to undertones, still a view, just think we know. Every step I didn't plan, flies up, guide where I land. Time congests, then expands, every doubt rewrites my hands. I don't chase a final frame, I evolve inside the change. There's a signal in the sway, like the wave that won't obey. Every cross becomes a cue for the next thing breaking through. I don't need the grounded lock, I don't need a steady clock. When the island starts to slide, I can move another side. I stay inside the isolation, where the motion sleeps both ways. Every moment feels intentional, then I stop to land and stay. I stay inside the isolation, no retreat, no fixed domain. When the future shifts its way, I recalibrate. No selling coin, I ride the swing, turn fluctuation into wing. Every fracture shows a range, I don't panic, I exchange. Not reaction, this is craft. Every good and sharp and scab, I don't echo what was done, I refile while moving on. Capsule tops and rise and lows, I translate it as it goes. No rehearsal, no repeat, I compose beneath my feet. If the system goes apart, I keep rhythm at the heart. If the balance won't decide, would you stay inside the sway? There's a calm in oscillation when I stop feeling it stay. I don't need it just so still. me ahead of the words I never said. I lead into the motion where the balance starts to slide. Every second feels intentional when I let the edges collide. I lead into the motion, let it teach me how to stay. When the ground begins to soften, I don't run, I rearrange. Rises up to a low hum. Every skate I had goes numb. I don't need a fixed design, I adjust in real time. Lights converge and drift apart. Every echo hits the heart, but I adapt along the way. Life's more room for me to change. There's a signal in the noise, like a boat out of voice. Every bar is charged with heat when my steps sing with the beat. I lead into the motion where the balance starts to slide. Every second feels intentional when I let the edges collide. I lead into the motion, no return, no fall back down. When the future music goes, I stand to meet exam. No freeze frame, I keep it. Yo freeze frame, no freeze frame, no freeze frame, no freeze, no freeze, no freeze frame. Yo freeze frame, I keep it fluid. Every bliss feels calculated, intuitive. Read this shift in the undertone. I don't chase the crown, I tame my zone. Pursuit that's in broken map, I translate it into pad. No work was so no delay. I decide on move, I play. Every fashion shows the way. I don't got the yesterday. In the system, test my ground. I risk growing for a sound. It's the moment sticks into it, you stay inside the sway. There's a culminating goal when I stop donating shape. I don't need the edge to find, I don't need it back away. In between, I find me line, how to bend and how to break. I lead into the motion, every doubt becomes a guide. When the noise is overwhelming, I don't scatter, I align. I lead into the motion, let it pull me curve again. When the world begins to shift, that's exactly where I win. Let's stretch, let it breathe. Got control of booty, see. When I'm silence finds its place, I'm still moving in this space. Stuff me, I'm breathing on the wall. Every echo feels intentional. I don't wait for night to settle. I step in while it's still in flux. Footsteps blur with past and frames. Every sound rewrites my aim. What I thought was solid ground starts responding when I move now. The air is tense, still wide awake, like a signal mid-upgrade. I don't pierce, I synchronize with the change to form my eyes. As I lift inside the drag, resistance pulling back. Every pass begins to get where I stop. I seem to know I don't need a thing to clear, I don't need it justified. When the balance starts to drift, I touch just from the inside. I stay inside the modulation, where the paddle starts to bend. Every second feels a stun. And I don't defend the edge, I stay inside the modulation. Let it reach me how I move. When the signal shifts its tone, I evolve into the groove. Like factors and lines, every house redesigns time. Wanna drop till long away, left for them, we're for today. Houses out to undertones, still I feel distinctly known. Every step I get in clan, fix the rhythm where I land. Time compresses, then releases, every dot breaks into pieces. I don't gather what is gone, I convert it into motion. Lost beneath the noise, like a jump spin for a choice. Every pause becomes a cue for the falling for. Yeah, ay. I could look across the screen, every moment in between. I don't wait for things to load, I'm overhead of what I'm up. Singles overlap and fade, every chance I'm never late. Found you now in clearer form, like the quiet before the storm. Blessings up a distant sound, every step redraws it down. What I carry sets it in as the next beat settles in. There's no tension in the day, like a pause that wants to stay. Every heartbeat pulls me close to a shift I almost chose. I don't have to slow it down, I don't need to slow down loud when the timing starts to sway. I lean further into. I stay inside the latency, where the answer isn't clear. Every second feels intentional. When I don't, I run the fear. I stay inside the latency, let it stretch and let it play. When a signal holds its breath, I don't rush, I stay. Let the facts in silent waves, every loss begins to save. What I dropped along the way, less more room for what was gave. I've just on human the tone, still I feel distinctly shown. Every step I didn't plan, fiscal rhythm where I land. Time to distance then expands, every doubt rewrites my hands. I don't chase this final form, I respond to what is spawning. There's a pull beneath the way, like we inch before the game. Every pause becomes a cue for the next thing breaking through. I don't need the frame to lie, I don't need a steady cloud. When the outline starts to bend, I adjust before the end. I stay inside the latency, where the answer isn't clear. Every second feels intentional. When I don't, I run the fear. I stay inside the latency, no retreat, no borrowed pace. When the future lights a beat, I hold space. No knocking on fate, I sit with the gap. Every friction in the flow, everywhere I adapt. I don't fill it with noise, I don't force your reply. Turn the waiting and tending, let the moment that define. Now we hitting, it's a strain, every thought sharp and ten. I don't wish to override, I let tongue realign. Pressure speaks in subtle codes, I decode it, so enclose. No rehearsal, no repeat, I refine beneath the beat. If the system skips a frame, I redesign and sound and delay. But the moment doesn't land, we'll just still stay in the space. There's a clarity and latency when I stop demanding pace. I don't need it fast or clean, I don't need a resolve now, and a way to finally feel what I'm ready to arrive. I stay inside the latency, every breath becomes a guide. When the silence stretches small, and I scatter fire back. I stay inside the latency, let it test my sense of time. When the answer comes to fragments, I align. Master when my two up. When the silence fills the frame, I remain unchanged. Soft glass spinning through the haze, every step rewrites the phase. I don't pause to check the math, I feel the pull, I take the path. Street lights mirror to a tone, like a signal overthrown. What I thought was set in stone starts to shift when I move alone. Pressing up with hidden pace, every second finds its place. I don't reach for solid ground, I read intention in the sound. There's a weight inside the lift, like the moment wants to shift. Every pause begins to glow when I stop demanding no. I don't need it locked ashore, I don't need a fixed contour. When the balance starts to lean, I respond from in between. I stay right in the interference, where the signals overlap. Every second feels intentional when the lines begin to crack. I stay right in the interference, let it blur what can't align. When the system loses focus, I redefine the sign. Life fractures then resolves, every doubt begins to dissolve. What I dropped need the ground to stay. When the pattern starts to bend, I can move another way. I stay right in the interference where the signals overlap. Every second feels intentional when the lines begin to crack. I stay right in the interference, no retreat, no borrowed tone. When the structure breaks its order, I redesign it as my own. No clean channel, static breath. I translate the noise to depth. Every fracture shows a seam. I rebuild the in-between. Not reaction, this is craft. Every pivot sharpens path. I don't let go what was done. I refine while moving on. Pressure tugs in broken frames. I decode it into aims. No rehearsal, no repeat. I compose beneath my feet. If the system drops the thread, I reconnect what's left unsaid. If the signal floods the line, would you still stay in the mix? There's a common interference when I stop demanding fix. I don't need it clear or clean. I don't need it synchronized. In the blur I finally feel what aligns and what survives. I stay right into the interference. Every breath becomes a guide. When the noise pulls me apart, I don't scatter, I realign. I stay right into the interference. Let it test my core again. When the future overlaps, let it clash, let it ring, not resolve but everything. When the silence starts to form, I'm still moving through the storm. Yeah, da, 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 oh, yeah, da, 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 oh, yeah, da, 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 oh. Cold air tracing every move. City lights distort the view. I don't stop to stabilize. I let the motion reorganize. Footsteps echo out of phase. Every thought feels slightly raised. Like the ground forgot its role. Still I'm walking, still I'm whole. Signals cross without a name. Nothing here remains the same. I don't chase a solid frame. I adapt inside the change. There's a weight I don't resist it. In the moment just like this. Every breath is pulling near to a line that disappears. I don't need it clean or clear. I don't need it locked in place. When the balance starts to tilt, I can read it in my pace. I stay deep in the instability where the structure won't respond. Every second feels intentional when the rules are almost gone. Stay deep in the instability, let it stretch my sense of form. When the ground begins to loosen, I don't panic, I transform. Light fractures across the wall. Every limb it feels too small. What I tried to calculate slips away but recalibrates. Crowds dissolve to undertones. Still I feel distinctly known. Every choice I didn't plan finds me right where I stand. Time compresses then releases. Every doubt breaks into pieces. I don't gather what I lost, I convert it into force. There's a signal in the strain, like a pattern breaking chain. Every pause becomes a cue for the next thing I will do. I don't ask to slow it down. I don't need the ground to stay. When the moment starts to bend, I can move another way. I stay deep in the instability where the structure won't respond. Every second feels intentional when the rules are almost gone. Stay deep in the instability, no retreat, no fallback zone. When the center can't hold steady, I redesign it as my own. No anchor point, I read the sway, turning balance into play. Every fracture shows a door, I don't freeze, I want more, not reaction, this is craft. Every pivot built to last, I don't mirror what was done, I evolve while moving on. Pressure talks in broken math, I translate it into path. No rehearsal, no delay, I compose in real time sway. If the system splits it seems, I rebuild it in between. If the form begins to fade, would you still remain with me? There's a clarity in motion when I stop demanding symmetry. I don't need it safe or still. I don't need it justified. In the shift I finally feel what can bend and still survive. I stay deep in the what was there. When the silence starts to form, I'm still standing in the storm. White light spills across the floor. Every sound unlocks a door. I don't know what I was chasing, but it's clearer than before. Steps collide with passing time. Every thought begins to climb. What I tried to hold in place starts to loosen, starts to slide. Crowds dissolve into a blur. Still I feel the pull get firmer. I don't need a final shape, I respond to what occurs. The air is tight but breathing works like tension finding its worth. Every signal I below, there's a pressure in the pause. Every breath is leaning into the moment I'm about to cross. I don't ask for certainty, I don't wait for symmetry. When the ground begins to shift, I decide who I will be. I stay right in the imbalance where the future hasn't formed. Every second stretches wider when I don't need to be sure. I stay right in the imbalance, let it test my center line. When the weight begins to scatter, I reassemble in real time. Glass reflections crack and bend. Every end feels like a bend. What I lost along the way left more room for what's ahead. I don't carry yesterday like a rule I have to obey. Every step I didn't plan finds a reason where I stand. Voices fade into a tone, still I never feel alone. There's a rhythm in the doubt that keeps pulling me back out. I don't need a fixed reply. When the pattern starts to break, I don't freeze, I modify. There's a signal in the noise, like a call without a voice. Every pulse turns into thrust when I choose to trust the choice. I stay right in the imbalance where the future hasn't formed. Every second stretches wider when I don't need to be sure. I stay right in the imbalance, no retreat, no safety line. When the balance starts collapsing, I reframe it in real time. No delay, I read the shift, turn instability to lift. Every fracture draws a map, I don't panic, I adapt. Not reaction, this is craft, every move is built to last. I don't echo what was done, I evolve while moving on. Pressure talks and broken signs, I translate them into drive. No rehearsal, no repeat, I redesign beneath my feet. If the system pulls apart, I rewire it from the heart. If the ground gives up its role, would you still stay in the fold? There's a calmness at the strain when I stop demanding control. I don't need the edge to find, I don't need it black or white. In the space where things don't fit, I discover how I shift. I stay right in imbalance, every straight, no mistake, not dissolve or fully played. I stay right in the imbalance, every noise becomes a guide. When the noise begins to pull me, I don't scatter, I realign. I stay right in the imbalance, let it stretch me past the fear. When the moment breaks its pattern, I don't step back, I appear. Let it shake, let it stay, not resolved but fully played. When the silence starts to rise, I'm still standing in between. Pale light leaking through the cracks, every second bends the past. I don't reach for what I knew, I let the present pull me through. Footsteps echo, stretch, repeat, like the ground is incomplete. Every rule I learned to trust starts to soften, starts to rise. I don't stop to trace the cause, I respond to what evolves. Every moment shifts its tone to the unfamiliar, feels like home. There's a tension in the weight, like the hinge before a gate. Every breath aligns the beat with the risk beneath my feet. I don't ask how this will end, I don't try to recommend. When the balance starts to blur, I move closer, not deter. I stand inside the fracture where the future splits in sound. Every second feels expanded when the center isn't found. I stand inside the fracture, let it open, let it stay. When the structure shows its limits, I don't turn, I step halfway. The glass reflections bend becomes a cue for the next thing I will do. I don't need the ground to stay, I don't need it justified. When the edge refuses shade, I can read it in my stride. I stand inside the fracture, where the future splits in sound. Every second feels a spent, when the center isn't found. I stand inside the fracture, no retreat, no fixed design. When the moment breaks its pattern, I redefine the line. No anchor, no delay, I'm moving while it breaks. Every fracture in the system shows me different takes. I don't copy what was built, I rebuild in the shift. Turn instability to balance, turn the fall into lift. Every signal talks in fragments, I assemble the frame. Not chasing clarity, I sharpen inside the change. No rehearsal, no repeat, every move is alive. I adapt in real time, that's the way I survive. Pressure talks in coded waves, I translate what it invades. If the structure starts to split, I expand the space I'm in. If the ground dissolves beneath, would you still stay in this way? There's a calm inside the fracture, when I stop needing to save. I don't need the edge to find, I don't need it clean or right. In the break I finally sense how to move without defense. I stand inside the fracture, every breath becomes a guide. When the noise pulls me apart, I don't scatter, I align. I stand inside the fracture, let it test me, let it stay. When the future breaks its form, I don't freeze, I find my way. Let it open, let it ring, not a loss but everything. When the silence starts to grow, I'm still standing in the flow. Shadows stretch and fold, every second feels half told. I don't stop to read the frame, I let the motion call my name. Footsteps echo out of sync, like the edge closer than I think. Every rule I try to save falls behind the path I made. There's a tremor in the calm, not a threat, just moving on. Every breath begins to lean toward a shift I haven't seen. I stay inside the drift line, where the balance isn't fixed. Every moment feels elastic, like the future hasn't picked. I stay inside the drift line, let it pull me out of form. When the ground begins to wander, I stay steady in the storm. Light refracts in broken waves, every doubt begins to cave. I don't need a solid sign, I read intention in the climb. Voices blur into a tone, still I know I'm not alone. Every step I didn't plan fits the pattern where I stand. There's a signal in the sway, like the now won't let me stay. Every pause is charged with heat when uncertainty and rhythm meet. I stay inside the drift line, where the balance isn't fixed. Every moment feels elastic, like the future hasn't picked. I stay inside the drift line, no retreat, no second guess. When the present starts to slide, I don't freeze, I coexist. No anchor, I glide between. Every fracture sharpens my scene. I don't chase what used to work, I design inside the blur. Pressure talks in subtle codes, I decode them as I go. Not reaction, not delay, I evolve in forward sway. Every limit bends and breaks, I convert the fall to shape. No repeat, no carbon trace, I move faster than the space. If the center won't hold still, would you stay inside the pull? There's a clarity in motion when I stop demanding rules. I don't need the edge to find, I don't need a perfect line. In the drift I finally feel what is shifting, what is real. I stay inside the drift line, every breath becomes a guide. When the structure starts to loosen, I don't fall, I realign. I stay inside the drift line, let it stretch me past control. When the future won't sit still, I stay fluid, I stay whole. Let it move without a name, no restraint, not explained. When the silence starts to rise, I'm still drifting open-eyed. Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. shift somewhere. I don't rush to make it clear. I let the blur stay close and near. Neon traces on my skin, like the start that's buried in. Every step I hesitate, still arrives right at the gate. Time stretches, pulls apart. Every sound rewrites the start. I don't hold what used to fit. I let the moment let you in the haze, not demanding, just awake. Every breath begins to lean toward a space I've never seen. I don't ask for certainty, I don't need it guaranteed. When the outline starts to bend, I adjust before the end. I stay inside the distortion where the shapes won't stay aligned. Every second feels expanded when I leave the frame behind. I stay inside the distortion, let it twist me into form. When the picture starts to falter, I don't flinch or transform. Cracks and broken tones, nothing here feels overdone. Every fear I try to hide starts dissolving in the stride. Crowds reduced to moving lines, every face feels undefined. I don't search for solid ground, I translate the shift in sound. Air is thick, the breathing holds the pressure, doing what is told. Every doubt that slows me down turns to rhythm when it's found. There's a pulse beneath the noise, like a choice before a choice. Every pause is charged with heat when uncertainty and instincts to lock. I don't need a steady clock when the balance starts to sway. I can move another way. I stay inside the distortion where the shapes won't stay aligned. Every second feels expanded when I leave the frame behind. I stay inside the distortion, no retreat, no second view. When the structure breaks its order, I reconstruct something new. No anchor point, I bend with sound, turn dissonance to common ground. Every fracture in the mix shows me how the system shifts. I don't chase a perfect tone, I evolve in overtone. Pressure speaks in broken time, I decode it line by line, no delay. I modulate, turn resistance into weight. Every limit tests my form, I respond by staying warm. If the signal drops its skin, I redesign from within. If the image won't resolve, would you still stay in the blur? There's a clarity in motion when I stop demanding more. I don't need it sharp or still, I don't need it pure or clean. In the distortion I can feel every layer in between. I stay inside the distortion, every breath becomes a guide. When the noise pulls me in circles, I don't scatter and realign. I stay inside the distortion, let it stretch me past control. When the future breaks its focus, I adapt to make it whole. Let it fade without a frame, not reduced, not renamed. When the silence starts to form, I'm still moving through the storm.
Yeah, till that bass start.
Dim light, breathing on the edge. Every second feels misword. I don't stop to clarify. I let the moment multiply. Footsteps that could stretch collide, like the foe synchronize. Every rule I try to keep steps away, then let the beat. The air is tight but wide awake, like a promise me they make. I don't reach for what's mistake, I move out everything me shake. There's a pull inside the thighs, not a flare to hand the cause. Every breath begins to lean toward a shift I hadn't seen. I don't ask for certainty, I don't need a guarantee. When the balance won't comply, I respond by just deny. I stay inside the displacement, the center won't align. Every street feels overgrown. I don't slow to read the signs. I move ahead of borrowed time. Windows flash then lose their shape. Every rule begins to break. What I carried starts to thin as the next phase pulls me in. The air feels charged but open wide, like a fault between the lines. I don't reach for what was safe. I step into the unstable. There's a tremor in the pause, like the ground ignores the laws. Every breath aligns the beat with the risk beneath my feet. I don't wait for certainty. I don't ask what's left of me. When the balance won't comply, I let instinct qualify. I stay inside the deviation where the pattern slips its hold. Every second feels intentional. When the rules are getting old, I stay inside the deviation. Let it bend me, let it try. When the system shifts its weight, I don't resist, I reply. Life fractures, then recombines. Every loss redesigns time. What I dropped along the way left more room for what will stay. Crowds dissolve to undertones. Still I feel distinctly shown. Every move I didn't plan finds alignment where I land. Time compresses, then expands. Every doubt rewrites my hands. I don't chase a final frame. I evolve inside the chain. There's a signal in the strain, like a rhythm breaking chain. Every pause becomes a cue for the next thing I will do. I don't need the ground to lock. I don't need a steady clock. When the outline starts to sway, I can move another way. I stay inside the deviation where the pattern slips its hold. Every second feels intentional. When the rules are getting old, I stay inside the deviation. No retreat, no borrowed tone. When the structure starts to crack, I redesign it as my own. No baseline fixed, I drift with sense. Turn divergence into defense. Every fracture shows a gate. I don't freeze, I iterate, not reaction, this is craft. Every pivot builds my path. I don't echo what was done, I recalibrate and run. Pressure talks in coded waves. I translate what it is. No rehearsal, no repeat. I compose beneath my feet. If the system bends a spine, I exploit the flex in time. If the center won't return, would you stay inside the lean? There's a common deviation when I stop demanding clean. I don't need it right or straight, I don't need it verified. In the shift I finally feel what can bend and still survive. I stay inside the deviation. Every breath becomes a guide. When the noise pulls out of phase, I don't scatter, I decide. I stay inside the deviation. Let it test my core again. When the future breaks its line, I extend. Let it warp, let it stay, not corrected, not delayed. When the silence starts to form, I'm still moving through the norm. Low glow, sliding down the wire. Every sound pulls me higher. I don't stop to trace the start. I feel the surge before the spark. Streetlight pulses, skips a beat, like the ground shifts under me. Every rule I memorize loses weight the moment I decide. The air feels tense but open wide, like a fall line deep inside. I don't reach for what was safe, I step forward while it shakes. There's a lift inside the drag, like resistance pushing back. Every pause begins to burn with the lesson I will learn. I don't ask for certainty, I don't need it guaranteed. When the balance starts to slide, I respond from the inside. I stay inside the convergence where the fragments start to bind. Every moment feels intentional when the edges realign. I stay inside a signal in the stream, like a rhythm without name. Every pause becomes a cue for the next thing pushing through. I don't wait for lines to lock, I don't need a steady clock. When the pattern starts to bend, I can move another end. I stay inside the convergence, where the fragments start to bind. Every moment feels intentional when the edges realign. I stay inside the convergence, no retreat, no borrowed frame. When the future pulls apart, I connect it back again. No anchor set, I read the merge, turn collision into surge. Every fracture shows a seam, I stitch motion in between. Not reaction, this is craft. Every pivot builds my path. I don't echo what was done, I refine while moving on. Pressure speaks in coded flow, I decode it as I go. No rehearsal, no repeat, I redesign beneath my feet. If the structure starts to split, I unite what doesn't fit. If the parts refuse to blend, would you still stay in the pool? There's a calm in convergence when I stop demanding whole. I don't need it clean or still, I don't need it justified. In the merge I finally feel what can join and still survive. I stay inside the convergence, every breath becomes a guide. When the noise pulls me apart, I don't scatter, I align. I stay inside the convergence, let it test my core again. When the future breaks in pieces, I transcend. Let it stay, not corrected, not delayed. When the silence starts to form, I'm still moving through the storm. Cool light spills across the rail, every step removes the veil. I don't ask what comes of this, I trust the pull I can't dismiss. Windows flash with passing thoughts, every rule I learn gets crossed. I don't wait for timing cues, I move before the view. There's a weight in what I feel, not to stop me, make it real. Every breath is drawing near to the shift I came to hear. I stay inside the breakaway, where the moment starts to lean. Every second feels expendable, nothing here is in between. I stay inside the breakaway, let the frame begin to slide. When the ground won't hold its shape, I don't retreat, I realign. Crowds reduce the lines and tones, still I never feel alone. Every choice I didn't plan fits the pattern where I stand. Time compresses then releases, every doubt just loses pieces. I don't chase a fixed result, I let motion be the vault. There's a signal in the rush, like a whisper getting close. Every pause turns into thrust when I stop needing control. I stay inside the breakaway, where the moment starts to lean. Every second feels expendable, nothing here is in between. I stay inside the breakaway, no return to yesterday. When the future shifts its way, I adapt without delay. No countdown, I'm already there, reading ships in the open air. Every fraction maps a route, I convert the pressure to output. Not reaction, it's design, I compose in real time. If the system bends the rules, I respond with sharper tools. I don't mirror what was done, I refine while moving on. Every limit asks me why, I reply by multiplying drive. If the lights all fade to gray, would you still feel what I feel? There's a calm inside the break when the change begins to seal. I don't need it clean or clear, I don't need it guaranteed. In the stretch between the lines, I discover what I need. I stay inside the breakaway, every breath becomes a sign. When the pressure pulls too close, I don't fracture, I align. I stay inside the breakaway, second slips the line. I don't wait for signals clear, I move before the shift is near. Streetlight halos stretch and fade. Every plan I try gets frayed. What I thought would keep me still starts responding to my will. Breath comes slow, then surges fast, like the present overtakes the past. I don't brace, I synchronize with the pressure in disguise. There's a pull I cannot run, like the echo for the drum. Every pulse tightens the thread between the words I never said. I don't ask to slow the pace, I don't need a resting place. When the moment sharpens tone, I step in on my own. I stay inside the acceleration gap where the timing doesn't match. Every second feels deliberate when limits start to crack. Let acceleration gap, let it stretch, let it collide. When the system loses balance, I don't stall, I ride. Light refracts and fractured beams, nothing's ever what it seems. Every loss I couldn't frame feeds a fire in the change. Crowds dissolve to moving sound, still I know where I am found. Every choice I didn't plan finds alignment where I stand. Time folds in then opens wide, every doubt gets multiplied. I don't chase a perfect end, I evolve with every bend. There's a rhythm in the strain, like a wire pulled too tight. Every pulse becomes a cue for the next decisive line. I don't wait for things to settle, I don't need it safe or gentle. When the balance starts to shake, I adjust before I raise the acceleration gap where the timing doesn't match. When the limits start to crack, I stay safe in that. No retreat, no fallback plan. When the future pulls too close, I expand. No countdown left, I'm already moving. Turn hesitation to proving. Every fracture shows a lane. I don't panic, I remain. Not reaction, this is choice. Every move sharpens my voice. I don't echo what was done, I rewire while I run. Pressure speaks in broken pace, I translate it into space. No rehearsal, no repeat, I redesign beneath my feet. If the structure drops the frame, I accelerate the chain. If the speed gets hard to hold, would you still stay in the flow? There's a calm inside